Hello, hello. Good morning. How is everyone today? I am excited to be here on this Monday. We are going to work on the sloth today. That was one of the things that you guys requested for a tutorial. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to do a sloth this morning. These are the ones that we've done up to this point. We did this duck, we've done our bunny rabbit, we've done our giraffe, we've done our skunk, we've done the raccoon, we've done the hippopotamus, and we did the gnome. So those are the ones that we've done over the last couple weeks, and we have a list going. I have it right here in front of me, and so we are going to knock off the sloth today and get that done. So I hope you guys are ready for that. I don't know who requested the sloth. I hope they're on today, but if not, you guys can always catch the replays of my tutorials on my Tube of You channel, which is on my TikTok page. So feel free to, click that subscribe button on my Tube of You, and you can get the replays. Can you do a howling cow? Amber, I don't know if I can do a howling cow, but I can certainly put it on the list and we can try. Again, sometimes it's a hot mess and sometimes it turns out great. So who knows, but I will put it on here. Howling cow. So we did the gnome. We did the bear. Let's see. We did, yeah. And today we're doing the sloth, so I'm going to mark that off. Well, Amber, you don't have to be able to draw. It is a skill set you can learn, so just know that. I show you guys, when we do our tutorials, I show you guys how to draw it and how to paint it. Last time we did the gnome, we did with the gouache paints. They were kind of cool. I like them. I love the way it turned out. It does look very different from the watercolors, as you can see. The gouache is, it flows and stuff like watercolors, but the opacity is very, very different. Layering is very, very different, but I enjoyed it. I had fun playing with the gouache, and I intend to do more of that as well this year. We are going to use watercolors today. So, yay. All right, Heidi, I want to see those. How cool is that? Very cool. I hope you post them so I can see them. All right, so we have all of these done, and these are what we've done over the last couple weeks, and we are going to do the sloth today. So let's go ahead and talk about the things that we're going to use and the supplies you're going to need today for that. All right, so hang on one second, and let me get my screen set up to where it won't go onto sleep mode, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to keep up. So let me just get my screensaver to where it won't kick on. Let's see. I got a new display, and it's bigger. It's really nice. I love it. But I haven't got everything set up exactly the way that I want it to yet. So I'm not sure. Let's see where to fix it at. Let's see. Security, screen lock. Here we are. Let's see. I want to do I want to set it up to where it won't lock automatically. All right, I may not have to do, I may be just entering today, because obviously that's not going to work. I'm going to have to figure it out. Okay, so we are, oh, my dog's scratching again. Oh, you have a small giraffe collection, Heidi. That's awesome. Well, he's available. He's on my EBAY. He's listed there. So, and you can find that link on my TikTok page. Okay. Let's see. Oh, good, Amber. I'm glad you're going to try to draw along today. Okay, and it's going to be a fairly, well, you know me, if I say it's going to be simple, it's going to end up being a complete hot mess. So I better not say that. I'm not going to say that, but it doesn't look as complicated as the other ones have been. So I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this out of my way here. All right. Sorry, I had my trash can there was messing with me. It was in my way. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to use, first of all, we're going to use the meat and paints today, which is great because you know I love my meat and paints. And hang on one second. Let me pull this up really fast. I swear to y'all, I was prepared today. I just had to switch a few things around, so. All right. Let's see. We are going to be using the meat and paints today, which are right here. And this paint set is the 96 color set. I have right there, the 48 color set, and I used it for years. And this one now is my newest one. It's got 96 colors. The difference is you get 30 metallics, you get 12 macaroons, and you get your 6 neons. Whereas in the 48 color palette, you got 6 metallics. You didn't get any macaroons, and you got the 6 neons that are a little different than this. And then you get your 48 regular colors. So then you had the difference between the 48 and the 2 metallics and neons that you got in the old palette. So, and then your mixing palette was up top. So in this palette, you get 48 of your regular colors, your primaries, and then you get 30 metallics, 12 macaroons, and 12 neons. You have a mixing palette that pops off, so you can use it wherever you want. These they still come out, so you can still pop these out, which I do as we use them. You get a brush, you get a pencil, you get an eraser, and you get 2 art sponges, which I don't really use those that much. I just use paper towel, but a lot of people like to have the sponges. Now, if I'm traveling and I'm out, in public, I'm probably not going to have a paper towel, then I would use those, but I haven't used this one in a travel situation yet. It comes with a really good brush, but that's not the brushes we're going to use today because once I practiced and learned how to do watercolors, which is a skill set. So if you want to learn how to do them, stick with us because I'm going to teach you. And it's not something you have to be born with. It is really easy to learn. But once I learned, I realized that brushes really, really did matter. So I switched to this brush set right here, which is the Meeden brush set. And it is the 4 brush set, but they do make a 9 brush set. And the great thing about these brushes are that, hey, Rhonda, good morning. How are you? These brushes have the ferrule that will not rust. So this metal here that's wrapping these up will not rust, which is great. Oh, me too, girl. I'm freezing. It's cold here in Texas. It doesn't loosen up. It's very ergonomically designed to reduce hand fatigue. So all of them, if you're painting for several hours, your hands aren't going to get near as tired. They have a short stem, so you can control your strokes really easily. And they are synthetic squirrel hair, so they hold a ton of water and they hold their shapes really, really well. So if you guys are looking for a really good brush set that isn't going to break the bank, then this is the set because it's a really good set, but it's very, very inexpensive. I mean, I've paid upwards of $40 for one brush before, and this set is not even near that cost. So, as a matter of fact, it's on a flash sale right now. So if you're looking for a really good brush set and you want to save some money, you can click that link right there. And the flash sale is going for, I can't remember, it says, let me see when it's going to end. So for another 24 hours or so. So you're good on that. You've got time, but these brushes are amazing. Kaylin, me too. I absolutely love, love, love them. I know, it's crazy, Rhonda. I mean, I can handle it as hot all the time, but the coldness gets me. And I've been like, you know how you get that chill like to the bone and you just can't seem to get warm? Doesn't matter what you do. You can take a hot bath, you can stand by the fire, all the things, but you just can't get warm because you've got that bone cold chill. That's how I felt for like the last like week. So I live in Texas because I love the heat, and I do not like this time of year. This is always the time of year that I'm like, oh, I wish I was somewhere where it was warm. But it's warm most of the year here in Texas, so it's crazy. Yeah, I know. I heard we were supposed to get ice next week. I'm not happy about it, just so you know. I'm very unhappy about it. And my studio has a little radiator heater, which I use, but you know, my studio is an external metal building, so you can only get those so warm. I mean, and then, you know, they're just going to be cooler. So, yep, it is, Kaylin. It's very, very cold. Yep. I feel y'all. Us Texans, we're not used to this stuff. Yes, it makes all my boo-boos hurt. It definitely does. I was just sitting here thinking my back was giving me a fit today, so I've been having to kind of stand up and sit down and stand up and sit down all morning because my back's bothering me. So, okay, so these are the brushes that we're going to use, you guys, today. So we've got our Meeden brushes, we've got our Meeden palette, and we are going to be using our Meeden paper as well. I promise you there are going to be some products that are not Meeden that we use today, but I love Meeden products. Every single time I get something from them, I just fall in love with it. The only thing I've not liked from Meeden is their tape. I don't like their tape, but other than that, I love everything else that they've ever produced that I've got. So this is the Meeden paper. Now, what I do is I take the 5x7 size and I break it down into 4 equal 2.5 by 3.5 sheets, which creates 4 ACEOs. So, and you don't have any waste, so you don't end up with like a little piece that you don't use. It equally perfectly works out to a 2.5 by 3.5 size. You get 4 of them. So in this pack of paper where I get 20 sheets of paper, I can get 80 ACEO sizes out of this one pack of paper. So it's a great deal for me. This paper is amazing. It's cold pressed. It's 100% cotton, 300 GSM, and it is beautifully textured, as you can see. And it is absolutely my very favorite paper out of all the paper that I have, which I have a lot of really good paper, but this is my favorite by far. And price point, it's really, really good. So if you are looking to get a really good thing of paper for yourself, go ahead and grab this because it is really good paper and it's not going to break the bank. It's a decent price. And grab this because it is really good paper and it's not going to break the bank. It's a decent price. So good paper, good price. Yes, Heidi, it's great paper. I love it. I love it too. I mean, it's just beautifully textured and it absorbs really well. And paper matters, guys. I mean, you can tell the difference. Let me just show you. I got this cheap paper off of another site and I was really not happy with it. And so I ended up giving it all to my grandson because he's 8 and he loves to do watercolor as well. But the thing is that I wanted these because they were already pre-cut in ACEO sizes and I wouldn't have to do it myself. But you can see the difference in how well this paper does compared to this. I mean, just the texture of this and the colors don't pop as much. This, you can see how well the colors pop and how beautifully textured it is. Just, you can definitely tell. Like, paper makes such a huge difference. So if you're struggling to get your art looking exactly the way you really want it to look, it could be your paper. So that is why I just went ahead and said, you know what? I'm going to just keep cutting them myself. I thought I was going to save myself some time, but once I got these in and started using them, I was like, nope, not going to use that. So I ended up getting this paper and again, and I love it. So paper from the below 5 place. Now yes, it is a game changer. I agree with that, Kaylin. It really does just bring your art to a whole different level for sure. You can just tell. I mean, this is beautiful texture. The colors really stand out. I mean, you can see the beautiful texture on this one because we have that great background. I mean, it's just absolutely gorgeous. So I love this paper. So that's the paper we're going to be using. And then we are going to be using the Golden Maple detail brushes if we need to do details. Let me pull those up for you. I love this detail brush set. It is absolutely leveled up my ability to really get the hair and all of the details in my art correct. I love, love, love this set. Let me grab, well, where is it? I gotta find it, y'all. I think that is the set that I didn't put in here today because I forgot. I try to go through and think of all the things that I'm going to use. Here it is. Okay. Sorry, guys. There we go. Okay. So this is the detail brush set that I like to use. It has 20 different brushes in it. And you can see how you have so many different options. You have liner brushes, you have round, you have flat, you even have a fan brush if you need it. Really love this, the options in this set. And it comes with 20 brushes, but also it comes in this little case, so you can just keep them all together. They travel really easy. So there's that. And let's see, what else are we going to use? Oh, we're going to use the Nick Pro. Oh, hang on. The Nick Pro pencil set, which I love, love, love. This pencil set is truly my favorite thing when it comes to sketching, because you get all of your different leads. So you get your 0.7, 0.5, 0.9, and then you get all of your 2.0s, and you get all of the different leads that go with them. So you have all the different hardnesses of your leads. You get extra erasers. You get colored leads for your 2.0s. You get a kneaded eraser. You get 3 of these soft erasers, and you get a pencil sharpener for your 2.0s as well. They're made out of this really nice, sturdy metal, but they're super lightweight, so they're easy to use, and they're easy to just pop in the case and carry along with you. I did this the other day with it. This is just a good example of how you can draw with different size leads. Sorry, I started coloring it, but then I was like, I don't like how that's looking, so I never did finish it. But you can see, you can get a lot of detail in when you have different size leads, and you can shade really well and all of that kind of stuff. So I love this set to draw before I start painting and putting my color on. Now I'm going to be using the 0.5 lead today, or the 0.5 size today. And I'm going to be using the HB lead. And when you put your lead in it, you can change this. So if you're using a 2B, you just turn this and it'll move it. So you don't have to remember what lead is in it. So this is your gauge to let you know like what lead is in your pencil. So you don't have to remember that. But I'm going to be using the 0.5 today out of this. All right, guys. So that is the Nick Pro pencil set. If you guys sketch like I do your own drawings, you don't use other people's, then this is definitely, or you don't use stamps or whatever, this pencil set right here is excellent to have. So there is that. All right, let me see if I can show you guys the plan today. So this is going to be the plan. You guys see what I got today? Or I got this weekend? I love it. It's got all my information. I can see you guys, y'all's comments and everything coming through on it. It is such an amazing little thing to have in my studio. I'm so excited about it. I still haven't learned exactly how to use everything yet. I'm working on that. but it's much like a tablet. It's like, it's touch screen. So it's very similar to a tablet, and I can move it. And if I want to see you guys here, I can get your comments here on my lives, which is really cool. Just scroll up and I can see you guys' comments coming through. It's so cool. I love, love, love this thing. Anyway, we're going to be doing the sloth today. So, I know, right? Fancy schmancy. I love it. They sent it to me. I was very lucky. I did not purchase this item. This was an item that TikTok sent, that the company sent me, that I will be doing some lives with this product though, and some flash sales, because they have agreed to send me some flash sales on this product. So it's going to be a really cool thing. So you'll see me doing some lives with this to show you guys how you can use this as a tool in your art studio. So it's not for I mean, I didn't get it for entertainment purposes, although it can be used for that. But I got it to use in my studio as a tool, and I really, really, really like it. Okay, so here is the sloth we're going to do. So if you guys want to, I'm going to take the glare off of that so you guys can, oh, that didn't work. Let's go this way. Yep. There we go. I've got a window behind me. So if you guys want to screenshot this, go ahead and screenshot it now, because this is your time to screenshot. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is the inspiration photo we're going to use today for our drawing. Okay. So it should be, yes, isn't he precious, Kaylin? Who were you, the one that said to put a sloth on here? I can't remember who it was that suggested the sloth. But I'm excited about it. I've not ever done a sloth, so this could be a hot mess today. However, I'm going to try it for you guys because that's what you guys want to do. All right, out. Sorry, I had to let my dog out. Okay, so what we're going to do before we do anything else is we're going to tape down our paper so that we can do our edges. And I'm going to use some washi tape. However, you can use painter's tape. You can use art tape if you have some that you like. And you can use pretty much just whatever tape you feel like is good for you. I use washi tape because it works really well to keep my lines nice and crisp. I tape it onto a piece of wood. This is actually MSG is what, or MSG board or MS board. I don't even know. But anyway, it's wood. And you just, that way I can move my paper around. You know, like if I need to turn my paper, I can turn it. If I tape it to my desk, I can't move it around, and I need to be able to do that. Shelly, I use ChatGPT, and I put in a prompt for it, and it gives me my inspiration picture. So I use an AI, so it generates it from AI, so I'm not taking somebody else's art. And then I will, and then I'll make it my own from there. So that's how we do that. Okay, so we've got our stuff taped. I'm going to go ahead and, oh, the other thing we're going to use today is these multi-liners, but I'll tell you about these multi-liners when we get to them. Sorry, I forgot about that. Let me get all of my stuff together that we're using today so I don't get confused and don't know where it's at. I got my studio really organized yesterday, guys. I was so excited about that because that's one of my goals this year, is to stay organized. So I've really been working hard to get these organizational things done. And it's so funny because I actually went thrifting this weekend, and I found this drawer set, and I found these drawer sets, never even been used. They still have the tags on them. I found those, and I found these. So I found all of these at the when I was thrifting this weekend. So I got them all and brought them in here and started getting some things organized. So now my workspace right here is just, I mean, look at how beautifully organized my workspace is. I cannot tell you how happy that makes me, you guys, to have this nice organized space. Okay, so we are going to be drawing our sloth before we start painting it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift you guys to an overhead view so you guys can see that. And you have that nice overhead view. So let me grab my tripod for that so that you guys can get that overhead view. I don't know why this thing is acting weird. There we go. All right. Now y'all let me know if you can't hear me once I get my phone in there. Does anybody need to see the inspiration picture one more time before we start? Because I don't want to put you on the tripod and then have to pull it off. So if we, Buffalo Art Room, thank you for the follow. I'm going to follow you back right now. Appreciate that so much. Okay, so here is the inspiration picture that we are going to be using. Okay, it is a sloth. So if you would like to screenshot it so you have it as your as a reference, go ahead and screenshot that now, because that is what we are going to use. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. All right, we are going to get started. Ash, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. I'm going to follow you back. Maybe. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to send an invitation. I was trying to follow you back. That's weird. I wonder why it did that. There we go. Sorry, it wouldn't click on there. Okay. All right, so we are going to get going on this. I'm going to put you guys up here in the overhead view so you guys can, let me move y'all. Let me know if you can't hear me once I get you put in here, because sometimes I tend to cover up my microphone with this particular tripod. So can you guys hear me okay? Please let me know in the comments so that I know I haven't covered up my microphone. All right. Thank you, Rhonda. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to take y'all down just a little bit closer so you guys can see it. Keep myself in my lines here so I know that I'm on screen. Okay. Does that look good for everybody? We're going to start drawing. And I want to make sure that everybody can see that. So we're going to draw our sloth by starting with our limbs. Okay. I'm trying to decide if I want to make this one landscape. I think I'm going to make this a landscape drawing. Because this way is too short to do that whole thing. So we're going to go ahead and go this way. So we're going to start at the edge and we're just going to draw our limb. Okay. So go ahead and draw your limb however you want it to go. And just remember, when we draw limbs, they're not perfect. So they're going to kind of wiggle and wobble and all of the things. And you're going to have other limbs that attach to them and all of that stuff. So just make it your own. However you feel like you want it to go. You can even give it knots if you wanted to. I'm going to bring this one kind of in and then connect it, and it's going to have like a little leaf here on the end. Like that. And maybe a leaf right there as well. And then we'll add our leaves in as we go. We can even do more branches if we wanted to, like that. And we can bring them out like this. Okay, so don't, just know that it doesn't have to be It can be however you want it to be. Okay. And then our big branch where the sloth is going to lay on, we're going to go ahead and make that come across. I'm going to bring this one down here a little bit. So we're going to have one that comes off of that. And then we're going to just go across our page with that. Okay, and don't worry about where the sloth is going to go right now. Just know that we can draw him in a minute. Okay, but we have this whole thing here. Now to do the sloth, he's going to be, well, first of all, how's everybody doing up to this point? Are we feeling okay with this? Everybody got that so far? Y'all let me know in the comments if you have any questions or issues up to this point, and then we'll move on and we'll start drawing the sloth. Kinder Kelly says thumbs up. Thank you very much. Kaylin's good. Okay, great. All right, so what we're going to do now is when we draw this sloth, we've got to think about the shapes that are on him. And he's got a head that's kind of a circle with a face inside of it. So I'm going to do a little circle right here. Okay. And I'm going to do his little face that kind of comes, it kind of comes around like this, and it does like the letter M. Okay. And then we have his little eyes that come out like this. And over here too. We have his nose right here. And his mouth. And I'm going to erase this line for the branch. And bring his chin down. And then we have his mouth right here. Okay. So we have his little head. Now we're going to bring his arm around. So we're going to also erase this right here. And we're going to bring his arm around and down. Okay. And it comes down and gives us like these little pointy fingers, right? Then his body is going to come up and over. We're going to go ahead and erase this whole section of the top of this branch right here. And hang on, I got to replace this. Oh, where's my, there it is. I'm going to pull out my erasers so I don't have to deal with this little eraser on this. Okay, so we have erased this whole thing right here, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring his body up and around. So it starts kind of up here at the top of his head, and it comes all the way around right here at this branch. And again, we have his little claws. And then he comes up right here. And then again, we have another arm that comes down right here. And his little claws. And then that comes all the way up and around to his body. Okay, so we have this part of the branch that needs to be erased inside his arm, and this one inside his arm on the bottom side of that. Okay. All right. So we kind of have him sketched out there. This is the branch. Okay. So that is what we're going for. Let's go ahead and add our leaves here to this part. So add your leaves wherever you feel like they need to go, just so you have an idea of what you're going to do with them. I'm going to have some that come off of here. Have one that kind of bends over here. And I'm going to have one that comes down right here. Okay, so now I have my leaves there ready to go. You can make them as thick as you want. If you want to make more, you know, feel free to, whoops, make it as much as you want. Okay. All right. So we have it all drawn. Hi, Jamie. How's it going? Okay, so y'all let me know if you have any questions on the drawing before we move on. I'm going to use my kneaded eraser to lighten up these lines. I feel like my kneaded eraser is too cold. It feels stiff because of this cold weather. So I'm going to warm it up some. Thank you for the roses, Jamie. I appreciate that. All right, so we're going to use our kneaded eraser to just roll over this and lighten up these lines. So we have them there, but they're not going to be so dark that they're going to interfere with our paints. Okay, and you get one of these kneaded erasers in this pencil set that we just used, in case you're curious about that. All right, so we still have our drawing there, but it's very light now because we don't, we used our kneaded eraser on it. I want to make sure, though, there's some places in his face still that branch is there. I want to get that out. Okay. All right, that's the next thing I want is a kneaded eraser. Yep, you can get them fairly inexpensive on the Zon. Carrie actually sent me mine, Mama Carrie, and she sent me this beautiful card and sent me a couple kneaded erasers thanking me for doing these lives, and I was very thankful that she got it for me. But then when I got the Nick Pro set in, there was also a kneaded eraser in that. So now I have several kneaded erasers. But yes, I was very thankful that she sent me that. All right, I'm going to put my kneaded eraser away because I don't need that anymore. And I want to put it up so I can stay organized. Remember, I'm putting my stuff away as we go. All right, we are going to now use our, hang on. Just trying to make sure that y'all don't have those lines going through today. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the sloth itself, because I want to make sure that we get a good base on him before we start doing the limb, because I want to kind of change the colors up a tad. So let me, just a minute. I want to brighten this up here a little bit. My screen. There we go. Okay. So, we're going to do the sloth in like a grayish brown. And of course his face is going to have to be a little bit different. Now we're going to end up using quite a bit of our, detail brushes for this, because, this is a very small, like, facial area that we're going to have to work with. So I just want you guys to know that up front that I'm going to be using the, I think I'm going to use this one, which is the 18. Okay, so this is an 18/0 brush that I will be using. And it's from the Golden Maple set, which is right here. Okay, and I'm going to use that first. So I'm going to go ahead and pop out the paints I'm going to be using. I'm going to use this black and ochre. I'm also going to need the whites and the grays as well. For now, I might even use the dark ochre some as well. But for now, those are the two that I'm pulling. And I might even use the dark ochre some as well. But for now, those are the two that I'm pulling. And I have my mixing palette right beside me so I can mix these colors together the way that I need to. Let me put this. Another thing I like about this organizational setup in my studio right now is that I have everything within arm's reach that I use on my lives. So I can put it away as I'm using it, and it is making life much, much easier for me. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start with our eyes. I want to start with the eyes because I feel like that's going to be the part that's going to start to kind of define everything. So we're going to use the light ochre in the eyes first, and I'm going to just get my brush wet. I'm going to take some of this light ochre paint, and I'm going to define out his eyes. So I'm going to just make those eyes this light brown. Now, I know it's not light brown in the photo. We're going to make it dark, but I want to do the light first because I want to have some contrast here. Okay. So we're going to do that, and we're going to do that. Okay. So, okay, now once we have that done, go ahead and dip into the, hang on, let me get my reference picture. Dip into the dark ochre, and let that, add it to the base of the eyes and let it kind of run up the eye. Don't push it, like let it do its own thing. So you're going to end up kind of with the top of the eye being a little bit lighter, and the bottom is going to have the dark in it. Okay, that's what we want. Okay, and then we're going to dry it. So we're going to reach in here and grab our handy dandy heat gun and dry that. Okay, so we have that dark and that light contrast. And then we're going to take that same dark, let me get my paper towel. Okay, we're going to take that same dark, and we are going to just kind of go around the outside of the eye with the dark to bring that all together. Okay. All right, so we have that. Now we'll do the blacks and the highlights of the eyes in just a little while, but I just kind of I want to get these features done before we do the base of his face, because the base of his face is going to be kind of a whitish gray color. And so we need to go ahead and get all of this in first. All right. Okay, so now we're going to have to do the nose. Now to do the nose, we're going to do it in gray. We're going to reach in here and we're going to get this gray. And we're basically going to make this, it's almost like a square. It's like a rounded square for the nose. And I did leave just a teeny tiny little space in there that's white that I didn't fill in. I know you probably can't see it but I did give it a little bit of a highlight. Once I dry it, you'll be able to see it, hopefully. Okay, so you can see that little white highlight on his nose. I left that there. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take some black. Okay, and we're gonna get a lot of pigment on our brush because we wanna make sure that we can do this. We're just gonna do two little, right under the white highlight, I'm gonna do a little black circle. And then right next to that. So he's got his two little nostrils. Okay. And those are just gonna blend really easy. You're not gonna, you're barely gonna see them, but they're just the little details that you wanna make sure you have in your drawing. Okay. Once you dry it, if it's not dark enough, like this one right here, I didn't think was dark enough, so I'm gonna dry that again. I'm gonna do it again. Y'all, I'm shaking today because I'm cold. I don't know why. All right, that's better. Okay, so now we have our two little dots, okay? And we are gonna do, now we're not gonna do the mouth yet. We're gonna go ahead and do his face now, okay? And I'm gonna switch brushes. Now I'm gonna open up my Golden Maple set, and this is where those flat brushes are gonna come in. I did, Kaylin, and do you hear how quiet it is? It's crazy. It is this one right here. They, let me see, right here. This is the one I got. It's from Let's Resin, and it has two temperatures. It has a high and a low, and it's super, super quiet when you use it, which is crazy to me. Like, I didn't realize how loud my other one was because I've had it for so many years. And then when I got this new one, I was like, holy cow, my other one was so loud. But that is the new one, and I love it. So I gave my old one to my grandson, and he was so excited to have his own heat gun. So, all right. So I'm going to use this one right here. This is the flat brush, okay, in this set. And it is a 0 flat shader brush. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my palette and I'm going to get some water. I'm going to go ahead and just reactivate this gray that I had already done a while ago for another drawing that we did. I'm going to add that gray in. I'm going to rinse it. I'm going to get some of the white and add that in and lighten it up. And I want this to be very, very light. Okay, so the lighter you can get this, the better, because we don't want it to be, we want it to look white, but we want it to be just slightly off so that you can tell that it's not just the paper itself, that it looks different from the actual white paper. So the more white you can add in this, the better. Guys, we forgot to do our background again. You guys, y'all have been letting me forget to do that. So before we do anything else, we're going to do that right now. All right, so we're going to do a very light blue background on this. So I'm going to go ahead and get my number 5 medium brush. Sorry, I should have done this at the beginning and I didn't. And we're going to go over this whole thing. Don't get where you've already put your paint, okay, because that'll smear. So just go basically around him. Okay, get it wet. Just don't get his eyes wet that we've already done, okay? And now we're gonna reach in here. I'm just gonna get a light blue, and I'm gonna put that in the background. So light blue all the way. It doesn't have to be a ton, just enough to give it this light blue look. Don't worry if it gets on his body. It's not going to show. It's not going to show on his body. we'll be going over that. So there's no reason to worry about that. Sorry. I just totally forgot. All right, let's go ahead and dry it. Oh, you should have asked, Kaylin. See? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Okay, so let that blue dry. So now we have this nice blue background. You're not going to be able to see it except where we want it to be seen. But I missed that area right there. Let me get that. Okay. All right, so we have our nice blue background. You know what? I'm going to go over it, the whole thing one more time with water, just so I don't have any harsh lines. Because when I added that, it gave me some harsh lines, and I don't want that. So just know that if you have harsh lines, you can fix them by just adding water and then giving it another good little brush of air and drying it. This is the high. So see how much quieter it is? Shelly, I'll have it up hopefully this afternoon. When I get off of here, I download it and upload it. So all of them have been up to this point are uploaded. So this should go up this afternoon sometime. All right. Okay. Now let's go back. We're going to our flat brush. Okay. And we are going to, we've mixed our gray for his face. And we are going to go in with that gray. Just right around the edge of his face. And then we're going to rinse our brush. We're going to take clear water and we're going to push that around. And that way we're not, it's white, but it's got just a little bit of gray to it. So it doesn't look like, the background paper. Okay. And don't worry if he's starting to look like a hot mess, because he's going to at first. But I promise you, when we get all of our detail work and our shading in and all the things, he's not going to be a hot mess, okay? So just know that. Okay, so we just have a barely grayish, brownish face. Okay, can y'all see that? How that looks? Thank you so much, Shelly. To get the gray just light enough. Yeah, it is hard. That's why if you get it, even if you got the gray, even if this is too dark, if you just put a little bit in, you're not going to end up with a ton of gray if you just add water to it and spread it. But now we want to have a few little shadows of gray in over here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to get this darker gray right here, which is more closer to just the gray right out of the pan. And I'm going to add in just a few little gray. Just a little bit right there. And now I'm going to take clear water. I'm just going to kind of blend that out. So we have the shadows coming in. This is when you really want to have these detail brushes, is when you're doing faces like this and you have to get the blending and the shadows just right. Okay, so now we have a slight shadow on this left side. Okay. Thank you, Kaylin. You're sweet. Okay, hang on one second. And let's get, okay, so now we are going to switch brushes again. Actually, we're not going to switch brushes. We're going to put this one back and we're going to pull out our Meeden number 1. All right, so this is the Meeden number 1 brush that we're going to do next. And let me just pull that brush set up so you guys have that. Let's see, just one second. Okay, all right. So this is the Meeden brush set that we're using right now. We're going to use the number 1. And what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to do a gray, okay, a grayish, we're going to do a grayish brown. So we're going to, right over here where I have this ochre color. Okay, so this ochre color right here. So we're going to take that. We're going to mix it right here in with some of this gray that's already on here, which is just the gray out of the pan. Okay, and we're going to come up with kind of a grayish brown color. If it's not gray enough, grab your gray, get some of that, add more in. You want to have more gray than brown, but you want it to have a brown hint to it, if that makes sense. Okay. So whatever color you feel works for you. Okay. And that's what we're going to use for his body. Okay. Now, there's parts of his body that we're going to want to stay kind of lighter. And so what we can do is we can go ahead and start with putting an entire like white layer on his body. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not worried about the claws. We'll do those with details. So just go ahead and put the white on here first, just so we have access to those white spaces. So this is just white, and it's going to dry very translucent, not a big deal. We're just basically making him white. And right here on the top of his head, where that M shape is. Okay, so we have that white in there. I'm going to dry it. Okay, and now we're going to use this base color that we just created, this brownish gray, and we are going to put that at the base of his legs. Like we're going to go and across his belly right here and down his legs. Okay, like all the areas that we know is going to be darker. Okay, and we're going to kind of spread that up just a tad. And then we're going to rinse our brush. And we're going to take clear water and spread that all the way up his body. Okay, and if we want it to be darker in those shadowy areas, go ahead and add a little bit more while it's wet. And let those shadows form on their own. Okay, you guys see that? So we're definitely going to have some shadows around his legs, right around here, and definitely over here around his belly and legs hanging over. Right around his neck here, where his head's going to shadow. Spread it up. And I'm kind of leaving that area right there a little lighter. I am gonna bring that clear water around, but okay. So now I'm gonna dry him and see what he looks like. Now remember, the details are gonna come in when we start putting in our multi-liner, but we want him to have his shadows and everything kind of ready. Hi, Mom, how's it going? Good morning, good morning. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna do that same thing. We're gonna take that same color and we're gonna do right over here on this side of his head. And we're gonna kind of come down his arm. And then we're gonna rinse and we're gonna spread that out. Over the rest of his arm there. This right here is going to be shadowed as well because his head's going to kind of be blocking that. So we're going to have some shadow across the shoulder of his arm right here. So go ahead and darken that up as well. And then take that shadow down on the left side. Okay, if for some reason it spreads too much, go ahead and pick some up on this right side with a dry brush. Because mine spread a little further than I wanted it to. So I'm just wiping my brush and then just swiping it with a dry brush, and it's going to clean up some of that. Okay, and now we're going to dry that side. Okay, and now we're going to take the same brown. We're going to go just over the top of his head, barely over the top of his head like this. And then around the side and right along the bottom of his chin. Okay, so we have that shading right there. All right, good, good, good. Got it? Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the branch, and we're gonna use the darker shades of brown for the branch. Don't worry about what he looks like now. I know he looks like a hot mess, but he's not gonna when we're done, because he's going to have, I am gonna take this gray right here, and I'm just gonna go right, define the top of his face. Like that. And the reason I'm gonna do that is because I want to be able to blend that out and kind of make this look more connected and shaded. Use lots of water if you get too much gray, but just make sure. So that looks more like fur attached to his face, because when we add in the detail, that's gonna make that just look better. Just remember, if you get too much, you just pick it up with a dry brush. Okay, so now we have that kind of blend of his face. Way better. Okay. Okay, so now we have that kind of blend of his face. Way better. Okay. Questions so far on this, guys? How are we doing? Y'all give me some feedback so I know how we're doing. I gotta stand up. My back is hurting me. Ooh. Okay, I forgot to drink my hydrogen tab this morning, and that helps my pain so much, you guys. Whew. Forgot to drink my hydrogen tab this morning, and that helps my pain so much, you guys. Whew. Okay. Okay, let's see. Are we good? Everybody ready to move on to the branch? All right, it's time to do the branch. So we're going to put that back. We're going to take the dark ochre out, and we are going to do a very light touch of this dark ochre. So I'm going to, actually, let's use the burnt or the raw umber. Let's do this. I think that's going to be better. Let me pull that and see for sure what color that is so that you guys know. It is the burnt umber. Yeah. Wait, nope, that's the wrong one. Hang on. Let's see. This is the burnt sienna. All right, so we're going to use the burnt sienna right here. But we're going to make it really, really light, okay? So we're going to add lots of water to it. Okay, we don't want it to be super dark because we want to have some shadows in this, okay? So we're going to go across this just like this. Make sure your tape's down when you hit the edge there. And we're going to just kind of fill that in with this burnt sienna. Okay, so once we have it filled in, we're going to take this raw umber right here and we are going to go right up around the leg here, right at the edge, and we're going to add some shadowing. So just tap it and let the water do the work for you. Okay. And then across the bottom, same thing. We're going to take it and we're just going to tap in a few places, give it some shadows, let the water do the work for you. Let it spread. Okay. I'm going to go just a little bit along this branch here. Okay, and then I'm going to dry that. Okay, and now we have those few little shadows, but now I'm going to go in with this dark ochre and I'm going to add some even more shadows. So I'm going to go right up near the ones we already have. And this is a wet on dry now, so this is going to kind of layer that even more. It's going to kind of give you more defined shadows. I'm going to go right along here. Okay. And just put them where you feel like it needs more. Okay. And then we're going to dry that. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so we're going to take this, this burnt sienna that we watered down. Okay, we watered this down and go ahead and go right here under his belly with it. And right here under his chest and head. Now this part, guys, is going to really be shadowed because his body is going to be covering it. So you're going to want the shadows in this to be a lot more heavy. Okay, so make sure you get that heavy shadow started. And then we'll go back in after we've dried it once and make them even more pronounced. Okay, so now we're gonna go in, whoops, with the, hang on. Let me check my battery on my phone, you guys. I need to plug my phone in, just 1 second. Glad I checked that because it was getting low. All right. So now we're going to go in with this dark ochre, and we're going to make sure it's very dark, very pigmented, and we are going to give it these extra shadows. We're going to go right up underneath him with that dark. And here as well. Okay, and I'm going to add just a little bit of water, of clear water, just to kind of blend that a little bit. It's not quite as harsh. But we want those shadows to be really pronounced because he's basically hanging over the top of this branch. So it's going to be much more shadowy than the rest of it. Okay. All right, let's try that. Very good. Now we're going to do that burnt sienna again, right here on the last part of this branch. Okay, we got it so far. How's everybody doing? Give me some feedback here, guys. It's hard to tell when I'm not hearing anything from y'all. Just want to make sure that everybody's on track with us. Okay, so here I'm going to take that dark burnt sienna, or not burnt sienna, but the raw umber, and highlight it. I'm going to do some highlight right here, like we kind of have a knot in the wood right there. And then obviously we want some shadowing right up underneath here as well. That kind of looks like a giraffe. I'm going to spread this more. There we go. That's better. Another thing, when you mess up, you just add water. Yes, Rosa. Usually 10 a.m. Central Standard Time is when I'm on. There's Wednesday I'm usually on in the evenings, but most days I'm on at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we do this together. So, all right, we're going to go back in with the dark ochre now. And we're going to bring down some of those shadows. Okay. And then I think I need to go over here just a little bit more and just kind of define this out a little bit more, because it's not looking very cohesive from a color standpoint, and that's because I was a little bit lighter handed over here. So I'm going to go in a little bit more with this. Yeah, that's going to be better. Okay, perfect. Let's blend this out just a tad. And then dry the whole thing, and we have our branch done there. Okay, so he's starting to come together, which is great. I think that he's turning out very nice. Hi, Stacy Lee. Yes, I can. Hang on one second, and I will. Let me take everybody off of here. Off of the. This is, whoops. Here is our picture. Okay, so go ahead and take your screenshot if you need to. But this is the inspiration picture that we're using. Obviously, we're not doing this exact photo. We're just using this as inspiration. Okay, thanks for the heart, me, Stacy Lee. All right, you guys, let me know if I block my microphone, because I'm putting it back up here again. And you guys know how I do. I tend to block my microphone when I put it on here. Okay, y'all let me know. Can you hear me still? All right. No worries. Okay. Now we're going to do the branch. So we've got the burnt sienna, the light burnt sienna that we started with. We're going to do that in the branches up at top. Just make sure my tape is down. Okay. All right. Now let's go in with, hang on, let me get this up here out of my way. Now let's go in with the raw umber. Add some of the shadows in there and darken this up just a little bit. Just add those where you feel like it needs it. And then you can go in with the dark ochre and add that in as well. It doesn't need a ton because this is the kind of side branch. Okay. All right, so we have those branches done, and now we can add our leaves, okay? So how are we doing? Are we ready to start on the leaves? I'm gonna do these greens here that are, let me just see. Let me go ahead and put the paints up that we're using so that you guys have access to that as well, okay? All right. So we're gonna use the deep moss green, the olive green, and the apple green. So those are the greens that I'm gonna be using today, but you can use whatever greens you want. I'm going to take the, let's see, which one do I wanna do? You know what? I'm gonna do this one, the olive green. And I'm gonna mix that first. Okay, so I'm gonna go over the whole thing, each of the leaves with olive green. And you can do this with a detail brush too if you want. But honestly, these brushes from Meeden give you a really good tip. So you can do these leaves without having to switch to a detail brush if you want. That's what I'm doing just because it's easier than switching. But if you feel like you need to use a detail brush, then switch over to your detail brushes. I'm just filling these in with the base of our olive green color. Okay, so once we've done that, you want to keep them wet. So if they're not wet, when you go back to add in your darker color, it's not going to work. So make sure that you go ahead and get some clean water and make sure your leaves are still wet. So here I'm going to just wet these, and then I'm going to take this darker green, this deep green right here, deep moss green, and I'm just going to touch it to the base of my leaves, and I'm going to let them go up the leaf. Okay, I'm not even going to do anything with them, okay? I'm going to let it do its own thing. Same thing, I'm going to get these wet because they've already dried. So I'm going to get them wet. Go, and I'm going to take it, I'm just going to touch the base and let that green do its thing. Okay. Again, wet. And touch that dark green to the base. Let it do its thing. Now, if it does too much, you can pick it up with a dry brush, because you don't want it to overtake, okay? All right, wet, wet. Same thing, just get them wet with clear water. We're doing a wet on wet technique here. And then just touch the green to the base of each one, and it's going to create its own little veins. You don't have to do it. If it gets too much, again, just pick it up with a dry brush I think those look good though. Okay, and then dry it off. So we have our leaves that are nice and dry. Okay, now we are going to get our detail brush again. So go back to your golden maple set or whatever detail brushes that you use. Maggie, thank you for the purchase. You're going to love those detail brushes. Thank you so much for grabbing those up. Okay, we are going to go back to our 18 out of this set. And I'm going to take my dark ochre. Okay, so that's going to be right here. Let me get this, get my paints back in order. All right, so we're going to take the dark ochre, which is what we use the third in our list of stuff that we did. And we are going to darken, we're going to add in these branches that connect these leaves. Now you could use the brown multi-liner out of the Grabby kit as well if you wanted to. You can make these leaves look more connected by taking some clear water, getting your leaf wet just at the base, then taking the brown and touching it, and that will kind of go up into the leaf as well as down into the branch, and it will make them blend more and it'll look much more connected. Okay, if you want to do that, you can do that. Okay. So all we're doing now is, hi Carrie on Shopping, how's it going? All we're doing now is just connecting our branches. And just blend it out into the leaf as best you can. And make sure it all just kind of, all you have to do is just add water. It'll reactivate the paint and it'll make it all kind of come together. So don't hesitate to add water. When in doubt, add water, okay? That's gonna help things blend. Oh, yes, you do need to make time to paint today. You sure do. I have lots of replays up on my Tube of You channel, so if you've missed my stuff, you can go pull it up on there. We've done so much. We've done a rabbit. We've done a, let's see, what else did we do? We've done, where are they all? We did a giraffe. We did a skunk. Here they are. We did a hippo. We did a gnome, a raccoon. I mean, a duck. So we've done a ton of really fun stuff. So the duck should be up, Stacy Lee. If the duck's not up on there, you guys let me know. I might have accidentally marked it at private, but it should be already up. Yes, Carry On Shopping. You can find that on my TikTok page. Go to my TikTok page and you know where the LINKS's are. Just click on it and it'll be there. It's under Coach Ellen's Creations, I think. I changed it because it was under my Creative Faith, which is my other account, but I changed it so that you guys could find it easier. So just use your detail brushes to get this looking and blending out how you want it to look. And then once you're done, we will start putting in our details. All right. Okay. So we have all of the base shadowing and colors done. You didn't see the duck, Kinder Kelly? Did you look on there on my tube of you? And it's not up there? Because if it's not, I'll go and after I get off of here, I'll go look. I probably accidentally set it to private for some reason. Sometimes that happens. So, Tori, thank you for that purchase. You're going to love these detail brushes. I absolutely love this set. It's my very favorite set of detail brushes. I have several, but this is definitely my favorite. And it has all of the, I mean, basically it's got your liners, your round brushes, your flat brushes, everything for small detail work. Love, love, love it. Okay, Kinder Kelly, I'll go, after I get off of here, I'll go look. It probably was accidentally set to private. Thank you, Jamie. I will definitely fix that for you guys because I definitely uploaded it, so it probably just got set wrong. Okay, so we are ready to now move on to our details. You guys know that this is what's going to bring it to life, right? Okay, so let me just get my paints put away in my case because these paints pop out. So that's what I've been doing, is just popping them out and they pop right back in. Okay, and let's close that up. And we are going to now move on to details. All right, now when we do the details, we're going to use these grabby liner, multi-liner brushes. And they are waterproof. So if we have to go back and paint over some of them, they are not going to smear, which is great because that's the big thing that I, don't like is if I do details with either a detail brush and watercolor, then if water gets on it, it will mess it up. If I do it with non-waterproof pens, it will mess it up. So these are waterproof. The great thing about these is they have the 0.00, or they have the 003 and the 005. Those are the smallest thing. I mean, like, you can't even see, if I open this up and show you, you can't even see the tip because it is teeny, teeny, tiny. That gives us great detail work. They also have colors. So we're going to pull the 05 brown today because we're probably going to do some shadowing with that in the branches. And then also I'm going to pull the 01 and the 05 and the black. Okay. Also, I'm going to use a white gel pen for the highlights of the eyes as well in just a minute. Okay, but these are the grabby multi-liners. They are waterproof and they are great for doing detail. So we are about to add that detail in. You guys are going to be watching this little guy come to life. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start right here at the head, and we're going to just kind of start adding in our hair to kind of go all the way around his little face. Okay, and also his arm. And we're just going to bring make those little hairlines kind of follow the contours of his arm. And this is where we're going to make his little claws come out. Okay, because we know their claws are really, really long and sharp. So we're going to make those kind of come out from his hand here. And make sure he looks hairy around his arm. Okay. Thank you, Stacy Lee. All right, so these, and I'm telling you guys, these Grabby multi-liners are freaking awesome. These are this 003. The only set that I have found that has this size is this Grabby set. I have not found it in the microns. I've not been able to find an 003 in a micron pen. But, you know, that doesn't mean they don't make it. I just have not found it. So, all right, so we're going to now bring this part of his head around. Okay, so we have his little hair there. And this is why I tape to wood. When I start doing detail work, I'm flipping my drawing around constantly. So that's why I like to tape it to wood instead of the desk. Okay. All right, now we're going to do his little body. So we're going to come off of his body, like follow the contours of his little body and make that little hair at the top. Kind of following that line. All the way. And then we're going to go and continue to go through his body. See how very fine the tip of this pen is? It makes these really fine lines. So we don't have to worry about it overpowering it. It's just going to give it the design that it needs to make it look like hair. The design that it needs to make it look like hair. Okay, and then again, we're going to do the same thing with the paws, or with the claws. We're going to bring those claws out. Just like that. And here as well. Okay. All right, so we have his hair kind of all done there. I want to kind of connect this face a little bit more, so I'm going to just barely on the inside bring some shadows around and follow that contour like it's hair connecting. Okay, and then I'm going to switch to my 0.001, which is right here, and I'm going to do his mouth. Oh, you do, Kinder Kelly? Okay, cool. So Micron does make an 003. I've not ever been able to find one. So, I mean, obviously, if I went online, I probably could. When I'm at the store purchasing them, they don't usually carry them in stock. So, but that's good to know that they do have one. So, okay. So now we're going to do the mouth. And we're going to do the eyes. So we're going to do 2 round black circles right here and right here. Okay. And then we're going to take our small white gel pen. This is not my favorite gel pen, but it's got a smaller tip than my other one, so that's why I'm going to use this one. And we're going to give it a little bit of a highlight at the very top of that. This is why I don't like these gel pens. Right there and right there. Okay, so now his little face is coming to life. Do you guys see that? How stinking cute. The little eyes look good. Okay, now I'm going to take this brown grabby multi-liner, and I am going to go around his eyes just to kind of make those more defined. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing around some areas of the branch, just to make that more smooth and connected. So we have a little bit cleaner lines. Okay. Okay. All right. So now we have that. Now we are going to start adding in our shadows. All right. So you guys, I told you I was getting some new colored pencils in. So I'm going to show you those now. I used them to do some coloring work the other day just to see how I liked them. And I absolutely do love them. Now, I will tell you this. They feel a little less pigmented than my standard So Color that I normally use. But not so much that it made a huge difference. So, I want you guys to see these because these are what I'm going to be using today, because these pens have more color choices. Now, I love my So Color pencils. I absolutely love them 100% without a doubt, but they were only 72 colors. These are 240 colors. You see that? 240 colors, guys. They come in this metal container, and you open them up and you have just layers of color. I mean, I'm not kidding you, just so much. You have all of these different colors. They're incredible in the options that you have, okay? So now now, instead of having 3 or 4 greens to choose from, I have all of these greens to choose from in order to do my, my shading options. So it's going to make it a lot easier for me to ombre my shading because I have more color options than what I had in the past. So if you guys are, you know, the Socolor pencils are awesome. Don't get me wrong. I love them. I just didn't like the fact that I only had 72 color choices. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, and I thought it was too 3 years ago when I got them. But 3 years ago, I was not as versed in how, in the shading game like I am now. And now I know that when I'm doing shading, I want to have multiple options to do a really good ombre shade, okay? So that is why I went ahead and broke down and got a new set of colored pencils, and I was praying that I would love these as much as I love my Socolor, and I haven't used them enough yet to tell you if I love them that much. I've only used them once to do some coloring in one of my coloring books, just to play around with them. And I will show you guys. So I did the, let me pull it so you guys can see it. I did, hang on, let me find it. Well, hang on. Here it is. Nope, that's not it. Okay, so this hat and these leaves were done with my Socolor pencils, okay? So you can see the shading is absolutely beautiful in them. I love it. However, I did this shading with the new pencils. And I don't know if you guys can see the difference, but I can see the ombre shading in these. It's much smoother because I had more color options than here when I only had a few color options. The shading is not as smooth. Like the transition from one color to the other is not near as smooth as it is here. So I don't know if that makes sense, if you guys can see that or not, but I can definitely see the difference in the shading of, like, say this leaf right here where I had just 2 to 3 color options, where here I had several color options to blend those together. Okay. So, and I color in grayscale coloring books. So it makes the shading even look more dramatic than before, than if you're just coloring in a regular coloring book too. So, and if you're wondering what this book is, there's me. That is what you type in when you're searching. This is my coloring book. And so that's the name you type in if you want to find this. Or you can click TikTok. I have a LINK on my TikTok page. Okay. All right. Okay, Nanners, Minis, and More says she can see the difference. Yeah, I can definitely tell the difference when you have more options. So now that I know more about that, I really needed more options. So this is the option that I chose, and I really like them so far. I haven't used them a ton, but I have used them enough to know that I do like them, and that I think I'm going to like the fact that I have more options to choose from. Okay, because I can go with a light green, and then I can add in a medium, and then I can add in a semi-dark, and then I can add in a darker, and it just is going to make the blends better. Okay. All right. Now, really the only thing that I'm going to do, though, today is I'm going to add in some shading on his chest a little bit, like right near where he's connected to the branch. So I'm going to pull out some of the grays, and I'm going to get this light lotus gray right here. I'm going to use that. And I'm going to use a dark, this is a lead gray. And then I'm going to pull a darker brown over here as well. Okay, so these are the colors that I'm going to use today. And I wouldn't have had these like in my other set, I only have like a dark gray and a semi light gray. It's not even super light. So the fact that I have this lighter gray choice today is going to make this so much better for me. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to remember, we're going to layer these, and we do 3 layers. We do a light layer, we do a light touch, a medium touch, and a high pressure. So low pressure, medium pressure, high pressure as we do our shading. And that's what brings out that, that ombre look to everything. Okay. So I'm gonna make sure I'm in screen here. We're going to use this light color first, and I'm going to go over, and I'm going to just do a light touch right in the areas where I want to see some shading happening. Okay. And then I'm going to take the darker, and I'm not going to go out as far. Just going to do a light touch right around where I want to see some of that shading. Okay. And now I'm going to do the dark. And I'm not going to go out as far. I'm just going to basically go around the edges. Okay. And now I'm going to go again over the light with a medium pressure this time. Over the whole thing again. And then medium pressure with the medium gray. And then medium pressure with the dark. Thank you, Disco Boobs. I love it. Okay, and now, again, heavy pressure with the light. And just so y'all know, this is almost identical to the color of his background. You can hardly even see that it's a different color. Then the medium, heavy pressure. And then the dark, heavy pressure. Okay. And then I'm going to go over the whole thing one more time with the white. Let me find my white. Because again, I'm not used to this set. This is my new set. I got to figure out which one it's in. Let me see. Give me just a second. Here it is. Okay, and this does come with this metal case to hold all these in, which is great because then you don't have to keep up with all of them. Now, I am probably going to get another Meeden 6-drawer cabinet that I store all of my paints and stuff in. I'm probably going to get another one and stack it and put all these in it, but you don't have to. It does come with a metal case for all of these to go in. But I'm going to get the white now, and I'm going to go right along here and just blend that out. Add a little bit of white in there. Blend this out. And those areas where we wanted those highlights are right there. Okay, so that worked out perfectly. Now we're going to do that same thing. Stacy Lee, the ones that I have before the 72 count set, which is my So Color, I love just as much as I love these. I love these just as much as I love them. However, I love these because they have more color options. So, the So Color ones that I have, I love, but they just didn't have as many color choices. So, if I had to choose, I would pick these because they have more color choices. Now, if you've not done a lot of color pencil work, the 72 count is great because you're going to learn how to blend and shade and all of that. But eventually, once you get better at it, you're going to want more color options. So I like these because they have more color options. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, same thing here. We're going to go down the arm. And then we're going to do medium. And then we're going to do dark. Again. Medium. And dark. One of the things that I haven't done is try to sharpen these. And that's something that probably is good to know, because if they break when you sharpen them, I'm going to say nix on that, because I cannot stand these pencils that break and waste pencil lead when you sharpen them. And soft color pencils tend to do that if you're not careful. But this sharpened pretty good, so that's another good sign. All right, and back to our light again. Okay. All right, I only did 2 layers on that because it was a smaller area and that's all I needed. But you can do 3 if you need to. You just kind of use your judgment. If you don't see a lot of pencil lines and it's ombre really well, then leave it. All right, we're gonna do the top of the head. And here, I'm just gonna do these 2 colors. I'm not gonna do the dark. I'm gonna do just the medium. Because that's gonna be plenty for the head. Okay. All right, so his head's done. And now let's go and switch. Let me put these grays away and we will move on to the leaves and we will do the greens. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take this green options and I'm going to do, all I'm going to do is get a dark green, and I want to use this medium green, and that'll probably be plenty since these leaves are so small. So I'm going to go through with the light first. And then I'm going to go with the dark. Right here at the base. Okay. Again, with the light. And then the dark. And these are small areas, so we don't have to do 3 full layers. We just want to go over it until it looks blended really well. Okay, and all that's doing is just giving it a little bit of a shadow. And some of these I like the way it's already done, so I'm not going to do too much to it because I like the way my watercolors blended out that shadow. you know, because some of them are just going to blend perfectly and you're not going to need to really do much to them. So don't feel like you have to go over every one of them. Like if you like the way your watercolor blended really well, don't cover it up by messing with it. Just, you know, you want to do as little as possible with these colored pencils. These are just to give it depth is all. They're not to really change your design from the watercolor portion. These are just designed to give it depth and kind of that dimension that you want, so it doesn't look so flat. Okay. Stacey Lee, I used yes, they are more pigmented, Jamie. They definitely are. Stacey Lee, I used the Meeden 96 color palette today. Okay, so that's done. And now let's do the browns. Let me pull out the browns for us. And we will just kind of highlight a few places. I'm going to get a really dark brown. I'm going to get a medium brown. And I'm going to go with a light brown. Okay, so these are the colors that I'm using here. And I'm going to go right. I'm just going in the shaded areas is all. I'm not doing a ton of brown work because this tree looks pretty good. So I don't want to overpower it with the pencils. I just want to give it a little bit of depth is all. Okay. Medium is going to come out. And then the dark. And this is really going to bring out that shadowing of his belly over the tree. Okay, we're going to do that again. And just remember, layering is what causes that ombre effect. It's not going to leave it looking like you scribbled over the top of it with pencil. But if you do it just one layer and you just do heavy pressure the very first time, you're going to end up with a lot of things. It's going to look more penciled than anything else, and you don't want that. You want it to be blended. And yes, these definitely are more pigmented, Jamie. I can tell as I'm using them over the watercolor that I am not having to do near the heavy pressure that I have to do with the other ones. So thanks, Moi Chung. Okay, one more time. This is with heavy pressure, but when I say heavy pressure with these pencils, it's really more of my medium pressure on my other pencil set. So I'm not having to press near as hard, which is good because it won't flatten the tips out near as bad. So they'll last a little bit longer. So that's nice. And then the dark. Okay. Oh, that looks better. Okay, so you see how much better that branch looks now? Looks much more, it has much more depth to it, okay? So we'll do that same thing across this branch. We'll just go in, and we will add in some shadow areas. When I'm doing small areas, I like to keep it very, very sharp so that I can control that, how far I go into the drawing or the art piece, the painting. Okay. All right. There, that looks good. Okay. The other thing I'm going to do, the very last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in my detail lines around my leaves and everything. So I'm going to go back to my, I'm going to go to my 005 of my, oh, sorry. Can't see it. My bad. Sorry, Jamie. All right. Now I'm going to go and find, I'm going to put my multi-liners back up because that's what we're using next is the multi-liners. Okay, so we're going to use the 005. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to just kind of give my leaves their definition. I could have done this beforehand, but because I knew they were small and I didn't know if I was going to be able, I didn't want to get out of line with those pencils. I wanted to keep them, so I can so if I, you know, accidentally went outside the lines, I could fix it with the liner here, so. Am I out of frame again? I want to make sure I'm in frame. Okay, so we're just putting these last little details on the branches. To bring this puppy to life. So what do you guys think of this one today? This was one of the ones that was on our list. You guys wanted to do a sloth, so. We got to mark that one off the list. which I think is great. Just doing some little veins up with this too. You could do these little veins with the 03 if you wanted to, but I'm just gonna do it with this one. Okay, all right. Now it is time to splatter. Stacy Lee, I don't know. I was thinking I would try maybe a fox tomorrow, if I can find one. You know, if I can either find one on, you know, one of my sites, or if I can get ChatGPT to make me one. But I'm gonna play around with it. But I'm hoping to do the fox tomorrow. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cover this little guy, because I don't want him to be splattered. So I'm going to cover him up. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to cover him and we're going to splatter him. So let me just put these away. And I'm going to get my Meeden #1 brush. I am going to use black today, and I am going to fill up my brush with the black. And I'm going to splatter very carefully. Okay, rinse, going to lift, and I am going to dry. Okay, let's dry him off, and then we will peel that tape. I think he turned out absolutely precious. I don't know about you guys, but I think that he is super cute. I like his little smile. All right, let's go ahead and peel this tape, and we will reveal our edges. It's my favorite part. It's so satisfying. And here is our sloth. What do you guys think? Give me some feedback. Was that an easy tutorial? Was it too hard? Was it just right? Thank you, Nanners, Mimis. Oh, Minis, sorry. I think he is absolutely precious. He turned out way better than I expected him to turn out, honestly. Let me get you guys back down here where I can control y'all's view and I can show you things a little bit better. All right, there we go. Okay. Thank you, Shelly. Yay. Was it you that suggested the sloth, Shelly? I can't remember. I couldn't remember who had told me they wanted to do a sloth, but here he is. So this was today's tutorial. Okay, good. The hippopotamus was very fun to draw, like that one. Yes. It was. So that is today's tutorial. we have done now a lot of our little creatures. Let me just show you guys. So here's today's. We did a duck the other day, which I think he turned out super cute. We did a bunny. We did a giraffe. We've done a raccoon. We did a hippopotamus. And we did a skunk. I'm not real fond of the skunk. I didn't do very good on him, but that's okay. We did a skunk. They can't all be perfect, right? And then we did the Valentine gnome, which I think turned out super cute as well. So those are all the things. And then, of course, today we did the sloth. I think they're all precious. The replays can be found on my Tube of You if you missed any of them. And if you want to know what we used today, I'm fixing to go through the supply list of everything that we used to make these beautiful creatures come to life. Okay, so the very first thing that we started off with was our pencil set from Nick Pro. This is the Nick Pro mechanical pencil set. And let me pull it up. Hang on. I just don't want this stuff to be in my way here. All right, this is the Nick Pro mechanical pencil set. And this is what I use for all of my sketching. And I do that because you can do different size leads and you can get really fine detail. You can get good outlines. You can do all of the things with this set because you end up with, because you have all of your pencils. So you get the 0.7, the 0.5, the 0.9, and 3 2.0s. You get all of your lead hardnesses as well to refill them. And then you also get extra erasers. You get colored lead for your 2.0s. You get a kneaded eraser. You get 3 soft erasers. And you get 3 sharpeners for your 2.0s. So that is why I love this set, because you've got so many options. So it is really helpful to learn to draw. Now, you can stamp things and then do watercolor over stamping, but that's not what I do. I like to draw my own art. And so when we're doing all of these different designs, let me pull them up. When we're doing these different designs, it makes it much easier to draw when you have the options of being able to get your, different lead sizes and everything. So I really like it. And these are metal, but they're not heavy. Okay. They're very lightweight, but they're a good sturdy metal pencil. They do have a dial on them. So you can put, like if you have an HB lead in here, you leave it on this. But if you change it and say you're going to use a 2B lead, well, then you can change it to the 2B and you know what's in there. So you don't have to remember what is in your pencil because you have a dial to remind you, which is really nice as well. That's ingenious, actually. You have your eraser off the back here, and you have refills on your erasers as well. The colors on the pencil coincide with the sizes for the lead. So like the lead for this is going to be yellow. It's going to be in the yellow container. The lead for the 0.5 is going to be in the black containers. So they're color coded, which is nice as well. So that was the pencil sketching kit that we used. And again, as you can see, when you sketch, you can do different sizes of your pencils to make different shading and different parts of your drawing. So it does make sketching a ton easier because you've got all your different sizes. This is a really nice set. And honestly, when I got this set, I was very surprised because I did not think that I was going to use it as much as I do. But honestly, I've not used it. Since I got this for Christmas, I have not used another pencil set to sketch with. This is the set I use every single time. I even close this up at night when I close my studio up, and I take it in the house with me because I have a sketchbook that I keep in the house in case I get you know, extra, like if I get an extra inspiration or something and want to draw something while I'm in the house at night, then this is there. So like I close it up and take it with me in the house, which is not normal for me. I normally don't do that. But since I've gotten this, I do, because I can sketch so much easier. Matter of fact, I did this in my living room one night when I was watching TV, after I'd already closed my studio up. So, and I hate that I didn't finish it. The reason I didn't finish it is I didn't like the way it was looking with the colored pencils. So I just kept the sketch, and I should have just kept the sketch and outlined it with black multi-liners and just kept it the way it was, non-colored, and I didn't. And I'm sad that I didn't, but I'm going to go through and re-sketch this again and toss this one when I'm done. But anyway, so this is a really good set. So if you're looking for a good pencil set to sketch with, this is a great set to have. All right. So that's the first thing that we use today to do Mr. Sloth. Okay. This was our tutorial today. So we started out with the sketch kit. Then we moved to our paint set, which is this Meeden paint set. We used the 96 color set, and I'm going to show both because I want you guys to see. This was the 48 color set. You can't go wrong with either one of these sets, guys. But I used the 48 color set for almost a year and a half. Well, a little over a year and a half. I used this 48 color set, which comes with the brush. It comes with your 48 colors. 6 of those are metallics and 6 of those are neons. And then you have your mixing palette in the back. Okay, I love this set. I used it, like I said, for over a year and a half. And you can see it's a hot mess because I used it every single day. And you can see that I still have plenty of paint left in this palette, even though I used it every day for almost a year and a half. I recently upgraded to the 96 color set. Same brand, same palette. The only difference is I now have 30 of the metallics. I have 12 macaroons, and I have 6 neons, and then I have 48 regular colors. Same company, same creamy, buttery, yummy pigments. And the palette is now on the side, and it pops off, and you can use it wherever you need to. But they both come with a pencil, an eraser, and an art sponge. This one comes with 2 art sponges. The other one comes with 1. You get your 48 regular colors along with all of the others. So they're both really good sets. It's just that, just like my colored pencils, once I got a little bit more versed with watercolors, I wanted more color options. So I upgraded to the 96 color palette. But the 48 color palette was my beginner palette. It is the palette that I chose to begin with and learn with. And I love, love, love it. So you cannot go wrong with either one of these palettes. It's just that I moved to the 96 color palette after I decided I wanted some other color options. Okay. Let's see. Hippopotamus was very fun. Oh, and the bear. Yes, Sonia, the bear was fun too. All right, so those were the paints that we used. Now, the brushes that we used, we had 2 different sets of brushes that we used today. Today, we used, first of all, we used the Meeden brush set. All right, we talked about that. The Meeden brush set is, I have the 4 brush set, but they also make a 9 brush set. And this is the 1, 3, 5, and 7 are your options in this set. They do not rust. They hold their shape really well. So they have these pointy tips that you can do detail work with. They also have a really tight ferrule that will not loosen up. They are designed ergonomically to reduce hand fatigue. So if you're painting for several hours, your hand is not going to get quite as tired. They're short, so you can control your strokes really, really easily as well. And they hold a ton of water because they're synthetic squirrel hair. So they are really, really good. Now, I've paid upwards of $40 for one brush before, and there are times that it's necessary to purchase brushes like that if you're doing certain things. However, this is a good professional brush set that's not going to break the bank. You're not going to pay $40 a brush. You're going to pay under $30 for the entire set. So this is a really, really good set for that. If you're looking for a professional brush set that's not going to break the bank, this is the set for you. It is the Meeden set, and I absolutely love it. Okay, they do make a 9-brush set. Again, I have the 4-brush set, and I love the 4-brush. So, you know, if you like more size choices, then by all means get the 9-brush set. But yes, we did a sloth. Isn't he cute, Angel? He turned out so stinking cute. We love how he turned out. Okay, so that is the first set of brushes that we used today. The second set of brushes that we used today was the detail brush set from Golden Maple. Now, guys, if you don't have a detail brush set, then I'm going to tell you that this brush set is absolutely amazing, and I love, love, love this set, okay? This set has 20 different brushes in it. You get flat brushes, which we used one of the flat brushes today. You get all of your liner brushes, and you get round brushes as well. You also get a fan brush and a few of the larger round brushes, which is great. Love it so much. Which ones? The Golden Maple ones are on clearance? They might be. I don't know. It's showing me that they're normally $49.98, but they're on for $29.99 today. That's what it's showing me. Now, prices are different for everybody, so I don't like to quote prices because I never know what they are. They're like different. You know, some people get different discounts and coupons and all the things. So, but I can tell you right now that whatever you pay for this brush set, it's worth it. I love this set. Amazing. It is a amazing, amazing set. Okay. So that was the second set of brushes that we used. All right. The next thing that we used were the Grabby Multi-Liner Waterproof pens. They are right here is the set. Okay. I keep the ones that I use the most in my little spinny spinny thingy. I don't know what you call it. Lazy Susan or whatever. But I love this set. They have they start at the 003 size and they go all the way up. And then you end up with even your sketch and your brush pen. And then you get all of the 05 sizes in color, in the primary colors, which I love. These are a great product for if you like, if you do a lot of detail work. So like all of this hair that we did on the sloth, we did him with this 03. I don't think you can, this 03, because the tip on this is so teeny tiny you can't even see it. It's so little. Like I love this size. I use this size, and you have to be very careful with it because you don't want to break it. But I love this size so much. I don't know if you can see it inside there. You can see it a little bit better inside the pen there in that view. But anyway, these and you can put water over them and they won't smear because they're waterproof. So that is also really, really great. And they come in different colors as well. So with this set, you get 20 different pens. Okay. Starting with, you get all of your blacks from 003 all the way through to your brush pen. And then you get all of your colors in the 05 size. So, it basically comes with everything you need for all of your detail pens. So I love this set. They have just launched this set on TikTok Shop. So this is a fairly new product for them as far as TikTok Shop goes. But I got it off of their regular site before they launched it on TikTok Shop. But now that they have it on TikTok Shop, it's a little bit less expensive. And I highly recommend it. That's all I'm going to say. Highly recommend this set. Okay, so I'm gonna put these back in here so I don't lose them. And get them all put away. Okay, so it does not include a white highlighter, Shelly. No, it does not. The highlighter, the gel pen that I use for highlighting is out of my ZSCM gel pen set. The 100 color set of the ZSCMs. which is y'all. If y'all haven't gotten that set, you are missing out. It's sold out several times. It's currently right now back in stock and on a flash sale. So, and those are these right here, just so you know. I'll show them to you. We didn't use these today. But this is definitely a set worth having. Let me grab them and put them down there for you guys. Let's see. Where are you? Where is my 100 set? Oh, you know what? It was out of stock. That's why. It's back in stock though now, so I can add it. Let me just pull it up really fast. CSCM. Okay, let me find the 100. Here it is. Right here. Angel, I just finished up our tutorial for today. I'll be doing another tutorial tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Okay. I usually just do one each morning. So on Wednesday, I'll be doing evening time. I usually do evenings on Wednesday, but I do mornings on Mondays and Tuesdays, and Thursdays and Fridays. I usually do mornings as well at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and Wednesday evenings at usually about 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. Okay, so this set is really a cool little set. I'm just going to show you guys how, I am in love with the set. I'm obsessed with this set of gel pens that I have. And I'm telling you guys, I don't think I'll ever be more obsessed with a set of pens in my life than I am this CSCM set. And I'll tell you why. It's because number one, they have the swatches down in the pen. So you get a set of these packages of these little swatch strips. And you color them and you slide them into the pen. And that means you can see the colors before you even have to use them. So you know exactly what color you're getting and what you're going to get out of it. They're retractable. So they have zero, you don't have to keep up with any lids, which is great. So you don't have to keep up with the swatch card. You don't have to keep up with the lid. It's 4 times the amount of ink than a normal gel pen. So you have 4, it's basically like getting 4 gel pens in one. So you're not going to have to replace these very often either, which is great. They come in this really pretty leather case. And you get some metallics, but not the metallics in the 72 color set. They're different. You get regular colors. You get neon metallics or glitters. Sorry, you get neon glitter. You get neon regular gel pens. You get primary regular gel pens. And you get macaroon color gel pens. And you get pastel gel pens. So you get basically all of these amazing colors. And currently they're on flash sale right now for under $85 for the entire set. And I know everybody's like, oh my gosh, $85 for a set of pens. Let me tell you something. I'm telling you the quality. And I know everybody's like, oh my gosh, $85 for a set of pens. Let me tell you something. I'm telling you the quality of these pens are worth so much more. They are incredible. They're creamy. They're juicy. They don't railroad. They are very, very, and the color choices that they have are different from most sets that I've ever seen. So you have a lot of color options that you don't get in other pens. And you get your black and white in this. And this is the white gel pen that I was talking about. This is what I use when I'm doing white. Stacy, macaroon colors, or have you ever seen those macaroon cookies? These are, they call them macaroons because they're a lot like the macaroon cookie colors. So they call them, and they also have Morandi colors in here as well, which I'm not sure where that comes from, but you get macaroon and Morandi in this set as well, plus your pastels. So lots and lots of really cool colors. I love, love, love this set. Okay. And again, flash sale. So take advantage of it while they're on sale. Okay. So that's that. Now, the last thing that we used today to do our sloth was these colored pencils. And they are the 240 color set. And the reason that I have these is because I have the 72 color set in another brand that I love. But I didn't feel like the color options were enough for me now that I've learned to shade a little bit better. So I ended up getting this 240 color set. And I love this set as well. And I'm going to tell you that it comes with this big metal tin. So you can keep them in the metal tin if you want to. And it has these little finger holes so you can pull them out really easily. Okay, and then they go back down in the tin. But you get all of these gorgeous colors. I mean, look at the options that you have in these colors. So like when I want to do a leaf, oh man, I can do a leaf, okay? These are great. Like you get so many options of different hues of the same color. So that is one of the things that I love about this set, because the more options you have, the better you can do with your blending, okay? I want you guys to know that the blending is what I'm going for. And that's why I decided to go ahead and break down and get the this set, because let me pull my page that I did and I'm going to show you the difference. Now, when you have the option of using 3 or 4 or 5 or even 6 colors of the same color, like 6 hues of the same color, you get a much better blend. So this was what I did with this set. I did this green blending here. Now my other set, I didn't have as many options of green, so I had to make do. And you can see the difference in my blend. Okay. So you can see how that I had a dark and I had a little bit of a medium green, and then I had a light, right? So it's a lot harder to do an ombre blend. Whereas with this, you can see how that blends because I had so many different options of the green that I didn't have to just cut it off at 3. I could do, I think I used maybe, I don't even remember how many I used in this, but you can see the difference in the options of how they blend together. They're also much, much more pigmented than the other set that I have. So, yes, Angel Jones, this is a really good set. I love it. And I sharpened them and they didn't break in my sharpener, which is really good because you know how easy it is for soft core pencils to break. These they didn't break. I sharpened them in my electric pencil sharpener and they sharpened really well, which I like. Yes, you can. Miss Rhonda, here is the finished sloth. Oh, hang on. Right here. Isn't he cute? I have to sign him still, but I think he's precious. Look at all the detail and all of that shading and stuff, the shading work that we did, that was all done with this new 240 pencil set from, I can't remember what's the name of the company that I got these from. They're pinned below, but I don't have the lid in front of me to look at the name of them, but it starts with a K. Calor, I think, or Calor. Maybe it's color, but it's spelled differently. It's C-A-L-O-U-R. So maybe they pronounce it color, but anyway. So Shelly, thank you so much for your purchase. Oh my gosh, you got the brushes and you got the pencils and you got the gel pens. Good for you. Good for you. You're going to have everything you need to do amazing artwork. Love, love, love it. So yes, so these are, so we used these for the shading on our sloth. And you can see how well that blended. So see, it blended really well over those watercolors, which I love. Okay. And again, you can see the difference. So this was the old set that I had, which I love. Don't get me wrong. I love, love, love this set. Okay. But I want you to see the difference. I want you to see the difference in, you see the top of this, these pinks. Okay. I had a few options in the pink, but then down here, I had more options. And you see how much more that blended? And it's much smoother, and it looks more of a smoothed ombre blend. And that is because I had more hues to choose from. So when you go from a 72 color set to which is what I did with all of this. This is all the 72 color set. Okay. You can even see underneath here. When you do that, and then you shift to a 240 color set, you can see the difference in the blends. All right. So, that is I'm definitely excited about having the option of the 240 colors now. It's so much better. Doc Audit, thank you so much for the follow. I'm going to follow you back. Appreciate that. Can you show us more of that book, please? Yes, I can. Hang on one second. This is a book that my grandson and I both kind of share together. This is mine. Okay. This is my book. This is the name that you would look for. Okay. You just type in that name on the Zon. But it has fairies. Oops, hang on. I'll just do a flip through for you guys. It has fairy houses in it, and it has fairies in it. You can see my grandson's colored some of the pages in here as well. There's one that I did. So this is one that I did with the 72 color set. I did this entire page with the 72 color set. Now, if I were to pull, because I've got several copies of this, what I should do is pull another copy of this book and do this page with the 240 colors so you guys can see the difference. So if I get some time, I'll definitely do that. Stacy Lee, I can show you. Oh, Stacy Lee, this was been out for a while. This was released like 2 Christmases ago, I think. Or maybe not 2 Christmases ago. Maybe a year ago, right after Christmas, I think I put this one out. I have a Christmas one. I have this one. And I also have a devotional coloring book that's got a coloring page on one side, and it has a devotional that I've written on the other side. So I have a lot of those, but you can see all of that. All you have to do is go to my TikTok page and that link tree that's there. So I'm probably going to get in trouble for talking about this. But anyway, so these are all of the pages. You can get it on my TikTok page. Okay. So it's just got a bunch of different fairies in it. So, all right. So yes, here is the front. If you guys want to screenshot it, you can. But there is the front. So if you guys like it, great. If you do happen to do it, giving me a review really helps. So that would be like wonderful. Yes, the grayscale, the reason I do grayscale coloring with these is because now you can see when we created this sloth, we have these shading areas. But if you don't know a lot about shading and lighting and how to do that, then I want you to, if you look at a grayscale page, let me just pull it up and I'll just show you guys. So when I'm doing my shadowing, I don't have to guess at where it's at because the grayscale is already done for me. Okay. So I know that if I say I'm going to do this bottom right here, let's just say I'm going to do it with an orange like I did up here. Okay. Right here. Okay. Let's say I'm going to do the bottom with orange. I'm going to pull my orange colors and let me just pull some so that you guys can see how I can do that. Okay, so I have a lot of orange options here. Okay, I have all of these orange options, and I also have these darker orange options over here. So what I would do is I would pull a light orange, okay, and I'm going to pull a little bit darker, and then probably a little bit darker from over here, maybe that one, and then an even darker one, maybe right here. So I would pull these 4 options, okay? Now in my other set, I didn't have this many options, and because of that, you can see the difference, okay? And the same thing with the green. I had a lot more options with the green than I did here. These were my old set. This is my new set. So I know that I'm going to take my light orange and I'm going to color this whole thing in light first. And I'm just going to do this really quickly, guys. So, but normally if I wasn't necessarily a seasoned artist and I didn't really know a lot about lighting, then what I would do is I would guess at where the shadowing needs to be, right? But now I don't have to do that. So what I can do next is I take the next orange up, which is going to be, let me see. I'm going to do this one next. No, let's see. I'm going to do, yeah, I'll do this one next. And I would do, this is a light touch. Okay, I'm not doing a heavy hand just yet. Okay, and I would just come out a little bit from that shadowing. So I'm following the shadowing that's already there, right? Then I'm going to go again with the next color, and I'm going to do, I'm not going to go quite as far. Okay. Then I'm going to do the darkest. Okay. So I'm following the grayscale that it's already given me. And then I don't have to know anything about lighting. And also that undertone of that gray is going to give it a better look and blend. So each time I go back in with a little bit more pressure. So now I'm using a medium pressure. And now I'm going to go in with a heavy pressure. That's awesome, Stacy Lee. You should do it. Go for it. Don't be scared. I actually have multiple books out as well, like that I've written. I have a book that's a true crime novel that I wrote about the death of my aunt who was unalived by someone. And I wrote a novel about that. And then I also wrote a novel with several authors together. We did a compilation. It's called Up Until Now. And it is a motivational kind of like a bunch of different authors who really, had a transformation. And we wrote that together. That's actually an international best-selling book that we had. And then I'm about to re-release my true crime novel, which is called Surviving a Murder, and I'm going to release that, re-release that. Okay, where are we at here? Here. So you see, as I layer, now I'm on heavy pressure. So as I layer this, it just becomes more blended. And it just looks so much more, with that grayscale in there, it gives it a much better like blend to it. Let me just go over it with this last blend, and I will lift it up and show you guys what it looks like. Okay. All right. So there is the blend on that compared to the two options I had in the last color I had. So the last set I had, I didn't have as many options of the orange, so you can see. And then this one I did. So you see the difference when you have, number one, you have that grayscale right in here, so that darkens that up already and kind of blends it out for you. And you just follow that blend with your layers, and you end up with this beautiful ombre coloring. So again, the green, I didn't have as many options in the green, but now I do, and you see the difference. So that is why I wanted the 240 colors, because I wanted to have enough options that I could really ombre my blends out and make them look so nice. So like right here, I had pinks. I had less options, but here I had more options, so I was able to blend that out a lot better. So when you've got more hues, then you have the option to, like, your blending is going to come out a lot better. Yeah, the hair looks good. Now the hair I did with my other set, my old set, my 72 color set. If I had done it now, I could go in now and add even some more shades of orange in here, and it would be blended a little bit better. But I mean, I still think it looks great. It always looks good, even with these colors. Like I said, I loved that set of pencils I had. I absolutely love that set. However, yes, I can go back and add what I want. That's right. But I love how this looks. It's fine. But when you get more options, you end up with something like this, and then you see how much better it can be because you have the options of choosing more hues and blending out more. So that is why I love the 240 color set for sure. It is just, for me, it makes a huge difference in being able to choose 4 colors to blend with, like I did here, instead of 2 colors to blend with, like I did here. So you can see the difference. Like, I'll probably go back and, redo these now that I have more options and blend these out better. And then, of course, you've got that grayscale in the background, and that makes it even more pretty, because the grayscale just adds to it. It just gives it that undertone shade. So that's why I like coloring in grayscale. So, all right. Any questions about anything that we used today? This is what we did. We did the sloth today. Absolutely love that sloth. He turned out so stinking cute. And let me just put these away so that I don't get them confused and mixed up. All right. I'm missing one from somewhere. What did I do with it? One of my oranges is missing. Oh, well, I'll find it in a minute. So this is the 240. Rhonda, I think I'm going to try to do the fox tomorrow. That's my plan, is to try to get a good reference photo to be able to do the fox tomorrow. So let me get this out of here. Oh, there it is. Found it. All right, let me move these out of the way. And yes, tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, I am going to do the tutorial for the fox. So if you guys are wanting to do watercolors, we will be doing that. I will be uploading this little guy to my Tube of You today so that y'all have the replay available. You know what? I need to put an elephant on here. I do not have it on my list. So I will write that down right now so that I know that that's one of them that you want to do. Okay. All right. So far, these are the ones that we've done up to this point. We did the skunk. We did the hippo. We did the raccoon. We did the giraffe. We did the bunny. We did the duck. And we did with gouache, we did the gnome. This was done with gouache, not watercolors. All of these, and then today we did the sloth. All of these were done with watercolor and then colored pencil for shading. We did the detail work with the grabby pen multi-liners. So if you guys have any questions on any of that, let me know. I will put a horse on here, Samantha. I can't swear to you that it will turn out because I don't know that I can draw a horse. I will try. That's all I can tell you. It might end up being a hot mess. The gnome is more vibrant. Yes, it is. And it is because the gouache paints are not translucent like watercolor. Okay. So if you look at a watercolor painting up next to a gouache painting, you're going to get more vibrancy out of it because it's opaque. However, I will say this. They work a lot the same. Like they feel a lot the same when you're using them. The only difference is when you're layering, you can layer them a little bit better because they're not opaque. I mean, they're not translucent. They don't do as well with colored pencils for shading as the watercolor does. I did notice that. So there's a few things. There's pros and cons to both. I love them both. They're both great mediums. But I prefer watercolors right now just because I haven't practiced enough with the gouache. But either way, you know, it's the same basic technique when you're using gouache paints as it is when you're using watercolor paints. So these are the paints that we did today, that we used today. If you do like gouache and that is what you're wanting, then here is the gouache paint set that we use. And it is the Meeden gouache paints, and I will pull them out for you guys to see them. They have beautiful colors in them. This is the 48 color set, and they are gorgeous. They are 0.4 fluid ounces, and they come in 48 different colors. They're non-toxic. They're safe for kids. Very, very nice set of paints. So that is the gouache paints. And then here is the Meeden tube paints, if you like the watercolor tube paints. And those are also a 48 color set. Okay. Any questions on anything we did today? Okay, if you have any questions, please let me know. We had such a good time doing the sloth this morning. I will upload this replay for you guys, so y'all will have it by this afternoon. If you are wanting that, let me sign this little bad boy before I forget. He will be going up on my EBAY site for auction. Okay. All right. Any additional questions? Does anybody want to see any products? Please flip through the shopping bag below if there's anything you have questions on. These are the products that I use the majority of the time. So if you have any questions, the one other thing that I forgot to tell you guys, the paper that we used today was the Meeden Cold Press 300 GSM. And it is my very favorite paper out of all of the paper that I have. And I use the 5x7 size. And that is because you can get 4 of these out of one sheet and you don't have any waste. So I can get 4 of the ACEO sizes out of one sheet of the Meeden paper. And I get 20 sheets in a set or in a pack, which means I can get 80 ACEOs out of this one pack with no waste. So you end up not wasting any paper if you use the 5x7 size for your ACEOs. So that is what I did. I cut it myself into 4 equal sheets of 2.5 by 3.5. And again, you can really tell the difference between the paper. You can see the brightness and texture of this compared to cheap paper. The brightness is not as much. It doesn't pop off the page like this does. So paper does make a difference. And I absolutely love this paper. So if you don't have a good watercolor paper that you use and you're looking for one, then I highly recommend the Mead and paper. It is very, very nice. It's very vibrant. It's very much textured, and it looks amazing when you are finished with your paints. It is a really good, and currently it's on sale. So just so you know. How do you separate the sheets? Okay, so Tina K, you have to use a very sharp X-Acto. I use a very, very sharp one. And you put it in the very top of your paper. Right here, you put it underneath the paper. So I've got it up under one sheet. And I just drag through. Okay, just like this. All the way. And you just want to make sure you're under that one sheet. The key to doing this well is making sure that your blade is very on sheet. The key to doing this well is making sure that your blade is very out really easily. The reason that the edges are protected, we have this glue. Hopefully that we had a all right. Hey Vega, how are you? Okay, sorry guys, we had our power on and off, so my internet had to reset. So hopefully, thank you for the heart me's. Hopefully you guys can hear me again. Hopefully you guys can hear me again. I don't know if you can or not. Somebody let y'all comment if you can hear me, because I don't know if you can or not, but let me just see. Hang on. Let me just see. Hang on. Can you guys hang on. Okay. Hopefully. Okay. Hopefully. Let me know. I can't tell. So you guys are going to have to let me know if you can hear me. If not, I'll just top off. But we had like our power blinked, so it reset my router. So let me know if you can hear me. Oh, yay. Okay, Angel. Good. I'm glad I'm back. Yeah, that's, we had it was like a power surge. Our power blinked and that reset my router. So my router had to reset. Sorry about that, guys. What I was saying was they put glue around the edges of this paper to keep it from getting damaged and from curling up or anything. And so in order to separate it, you have to use a very sharp X-Acto knife to get into this one section right here that doesn't have glue, and you put your X-Acto up underneath it like this, and then you just drag it to separate. Okay, so hopefully that helps. If you're still on here, Tina, sorry about the power issue we had there, but when my power blinks like that, then my router resets because it loses power. And then it resets, and it takes it a little while to reset because it's a satellite router, because we use Starlink. So because we're out in the middle of the woods, and that's the only internet that we can manage to get that's worth a crap. So anyway, all right. Any other questions on anything that we use today? Again, today's tutorial was the sloth. And I think he turned out super cute. If you guys have any questions about him or you want the replay to him, you can get that on my Tube of You channel. Yeah, Stacy Lee, I had a power outage and it knocked my router out and had to reset. It had to reset my router, so sorry about that. Thank you, Vega. Yes, this is the little sloth we did today. And of course, we've done all these the last couple of weeks. So if you're wanting any of the replays, you can get those on my Tube of You. And this one will be up by this afternoon. You can find that on my TikTok page. Be sure you grab your fan club points right up here. Click that heart and get those engagement points, because that's going to help your account. It's going to help my account. So before I hop off of here, make sure that you grab those points. And thank you to everybody that joined us today. Moxie, thank you so much for the follow. I'm going to follow you back. And appreciate that. So anybody who is looking to do some watercolor tutorials, we do watercolor. We use the grabby multi-liners for the detail work. We use colored pencils for shading. So this is really more mixed media than it is watercolor, but I do tutorials every day at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, except on Wednesday evenings. I usually do Wednesday nights. So if you're looking to do the tutorials with us, tomorrow I will be on at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and we will do another tutorial and have some more fun with color and just enjoy spending time together. So unless anybody has any questions, I am going to hop off of here. So pop any questions that you have about any of the products that we use today in our tutorial. But if you don't have any questions, I'm going to hop off and go make me some lunch. All right. Hopefully you guys, Allison, was it Allison? No, sorry. Who was it? Oh, Moxie. Okay, Moxie, thank you for the follow. Bye, Angel. We'll see you later. Show and Tell, thank you for the heart me. Thunder, welcome in. We just finished up our tutorial on this sloth. And the replay for this will be uploaded to my Tube of You by this afternoon. So you guys don't hesitate to check my Tube of You this afternoon if you're wanting the replay on this, or any of these for that matter. Any of these tutorials that we've done up to this point, you are more than welcome to grab the replays on. Okay, and it's in its entirety. I don't edit it. I don't do anything other than just upload it. So like if I end up with a like an outage like we did today, where it was a few minutes where I was like frozen because my power went out and my router had to reset, it's all going to be there. So you can just fast forward through all the stuff you don't want to see, and you can do the tutorial. Okay. All right, guys, if nobody has any additional questions about any of the products that we use, then I am more than happy to answer those and then hop off of here. So one more time really quick, we did the Mead and Paints Okay, that was the paint set that we used today. We used the Meeden brushes. We used the golden maple detail brushes. We used the Nick Pro sketch kit to draw out our sloth. And we used the colored pencils, the new set of 240 colored pencils today from Color, and it is right here. And we use the Meeden paper as well. Okay, so that's all the products. Plus we use this heat gun right here for drying our work as we needed to. So if anybody has any questions about those, I will be happy to answer them. Otherwise, I'm going to hop off of here. Okay? Okay, pop them in the comments if you do. Hey, Show and Tell Creations. And I'm glad you popped in. All right, well, I'm going to hop off then if nobody has any questions, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time for another tutorial. Tomorrow we will be doing hopefully we're going to do the fox tomorrow off of our list. You guys keep making my list longer and longer. But we are going to do the fox tomorrow and try to knock that off of our list tomorrow. Okay, so I'll see you guys at 10 a.m. tomorrow, Central Standard Time. Thank you to everyone that made purchases today. You guys are awesome. Thanks for supporting my showcase. I appreciate all of that so much. Yes. Thank you, Stacy Lee, for moderating today's live. I appreciate that as well. And I will see you guys tomorrow. All right. Bye.